Aside from, the video lessons, I've also created some print resources for you to download to help you through these exercises. One of the resources I've got for you is this list of 12 facial expressions. So let's do another quick doodle of a face and work from one of these expressions here. I'm going to use anticipation. Anticipation basically means looking forward to something with an optimistic point of view. So one of the key elements of the anticipation face is wider eyes, because you're looking for something, the kind of open, smiley mouth. You're breathing in, it's pulling your face up. Notice every time I talk about one of these expressions, I'm acting it out. If you just sit and keep it in your brain, you're not going to understand all the details. So be the actor for your drawing when you're working on expressions. Eyebrows go up with anticipation. Let's try to capture that in our sketch. Start with the basic circle again, moving from the arm. Divide up the face. Okay, just get some basic placement of the features like this. So we're going to raise the eyes up a little bit. And we're going to add little cheek lines to push the eyes up. And we're going to bring the eyebrows up and pull them back. So if we look at the mask for this, it's leaning, it's expanding up and outward. Every mask has a sense of motion. This one is breathing in and getting bigger like a balloon, and it's going up. So the mask needs to convey that. Here's the top part of the mask. It's going to arc with the cheeks. Now the mouth is going to come up as well and stretch a bit further. The amount of squash and stretch you bring to an illustration really depends on the style you're working towards. Over here on the left, we have ultra cartoony, where the character's face is really elastic and can stretch and bend all over the place. And over here on the right, we have a more restrained, humanistic, we could say, face that doesn't bend and stretch as much. It's still expressive, but it's not as stretchy. I lean more towards the cartoon side because I want my stories to feel really emotional and exaggerated. I'm not so worried about the grounded reality of them as I am the emotional connection. So there's a sketch of a face of anticipation. I'm putting just a circle in there to represent the nose for now, but we'll talk more about noses on day 2. Okay. Again, you could play with the mask all you want to help you understand the expression you're trying to make. And when you're ready, I'm going to just lower the opacity on that layer, turn on a new one, and start to ink. Again, try to get these lines in one fluid movement. Even the eyebrows become a shape. Let's do a little line for the nose for now. And I'm going to make the pupils, depending on the direction your character is looking, you have to decide the location in the circle. Eyes should often overlap or touch one of the edges of the eyeball. If they're floating directly in the middle, that's like a shocked expression. Rarely are your eyelids open enough where you can see all the way around. In fact, it's maybe almost impossible to do. So it helps make your face feel a little more believable if you're touching the edge with the eyes a bit. Giant pupils. And I'm going to make the mouth open just a little bit, like this. And fill in the black regions just to emphasize the shapes a little more. Anticipation. It's like that Christmas morning expression. Again, I can add all the details that I want now that I've successfully created strong key features. All right, that's your lesson for day one, focusing on placement of key features and creating expressions that connect with the viewer. Now, I've created some great print resources here for you that cover all the main topics I just talked about. So you can download these and print them out. They cover placement of the features, using the mask, some example expressions, looking for masks in other artists' artwork. Now here's the fun stuff. Here's a little extra sheet on examples of types of eyes that are expressive and mouths. And you can mix and match them as you practice your expressions. Some other little tips on drawing more expressive eyes. For example, if you put a thicker lid along the top, you create a more expressive eye. If you break the line of the eye, you can help convey the direction the eye is facing. There are some tips on drawing mouths, and your assignment for the first day is to take this worksheet, open it on your drawing tablet, your desktop computer, or print it out, or even recreate it by hand if you don't have access to a printer. Now the goal here is to practice your facial expressions, but to tell a story with them. We have 8 circles moving along the bounce arc that we looked at in the squash and stretch examples. You're going to draw faces, but you're going to tell a story. So ask yourself questions like, how does it feel to be at your highest point? What's the facial expression that represents this kind of floating moment? Now your character's falling down. How does it feel to be in free fall? And when you hit the absolute bottom, what sort of facial expression best represents that feeling? And you come back up, what does that feel like? What does it mean to rise again? Adding the storytelling element to your practice is a great way to inspire you to get better at drawing. Because if you feel like there's a message behind your work, it's going to make you work harder to convey that message. Even if it's something simple like, what does it feel like when a circle hits the bottom of a page? So that's it for day one. Let's move on to day 2.